Hello, and welcome to one of several presentations about the ethics rules that apply to all federal employees. I am Danielle Barrett.
And I am Aaron Levin. We are both ethics specialists at the USDA Office of Ethics.
Today we are providing a follow-up discussion to our previous video, Post-Employment Rules for All USDA Employees. That video covered the basic prohibitions that apply to all employees regardless of rank. This video will cover the restrictions that apply to supervisors or senior executive service employees.
As promised in that video, we will now discuss some of the complexities associated with 18 U.S.C. Section 207. This statute provides the primary source of restrictions that may limit the activities of individuals holding senior positions after leaving government service.
This statute does not restrict any individual from accepting employment with a new employer, but merely prohibits certain representations and communications back to the USDA or a government agency. In addition to the post-employment restrictions covered in our previous video, further requirements apply to supervisors, SES employees, and senior level officials.
The first question you should ask is, am I a senior employee? Basically, if your salary is at least 86.5% of the pay level for the Level 2 executive schedule, you are a senior employee. This turns out to be a salary of about $160,000. So if your salary is greater than $160,000, you are likely subject to the additional post-employment rules in this video. If you're still unsure whether you're a former senior employee, you should call the Office of Ethics.
Additionally, these provisions will apply to you regardless of salary if you occupied a position with a pay grade fixed at the executive schedule or you were appointed by the president or vice president. If the Senior Executive Service, or SES, title is used to classify your position, these provisions will apply.
Now that we have determined if you qualify as a senior employee, you may be wondering what additional restrictions apply to you. Senior employees are subject to a 1-year cooling-off period. 18 U.S.C. Section 207C bars you from making any communications to the United States Department of Agriculture on behalf of another with the intent to influence official agency actions for 1 year after you leave your federal position. These communication restrictions apply to any matter on which you seek official action.
There's also a 2-year ban that is known as a Supervisors Ban. This applies to both SES level and GS level supervisors. If you've supervised any particular matters involving specific parties during your last year at USDA, you are subject to another ban. You must not communicate back to any agency in the executive branch for 2 years about those same particular matters that were under your supervision. Once the matter is completed, the ban is lifted.
This brings us to our next category, the very senior employee. The very senior employee is anyone who is paid over $205,700 in 2016. Like the other salary thresholds we discussed, this value is subject to change each year. This category usually applies to cabinet-level members. These employees are subject to a 2-year cooling-off period for making communications back to the federal government.
Remember, there is a ban that applies to all employees that relate to particular matters you worked on directly, like contracts, grants, and investigations. Avoid making new communications regarding those same matters to the USDA or any other agency under this lifetime ban, as this is a criminal statute. The lifetime ban refers to the life of the matter. As soon as the matter concludes, the ban disappears.
It is also important to note that these rules do not prevent an employee from working behind the scenes on a matter. This safe harbor would allow you to provide a supporting role to your next employer, but you must avoid any direct communications that violate the bans we discussed.
If you think you'll be working on matters that involve the USDA after accepting a job with a non-federal entity, be sure to call the Office of Ethics. We are happy to provide ethics advice and counsel even before you start looking for a job. We are also available to provide advice after you've left the government.
We like to tell our clients that you have ethics advisors for life.
Thank you for joining us today and watching our video series. Stay tuned for more interesting and relevant USDA ethics trainings in the near future.
Thanks for listening and have a great day.